on return to play and extending the CBA another 4 years. So that means that hockey will officially be coming back, even though hockey's kind of been the silent horse just working away. They've gone through phase 1, they've gone through phase 2. On July 13th, they agreed to open phase 3, which is opening the training camps up to more than the 6 players and a small group of people. And then phase 4, which is restarting those cities, or restarting the game and the hub cities of Edmonton
and Toronto.
Starting up.
I love that it's Canada, by the way, too, for multiple reasons. One, because that is king, and obviously hockey is really great in Canada. It's their most popular sport. So I think that'll be good for the league to get its popularity back, and they handle Corona a lot better than America does.
Yes, that is very, very true.
It does look like from what's been leaked and talked about, nothing's actually official yet. That the leading cities are Toronto and Edmonton, which, if you go back in the archives, I called Edmonton. I called it.
So, whoa, Brendan calling something?
I'm telling you, it happens more than you think.
So how many host cities are there then?
They're talking about only doing 2 now instead of the 3 that they were talking about before. So then it would only be in Canada.
So it's actually official as of 2 hours ago.
Nice.
I was just looking at. Oh, I was not looking on there. I was just looking. Yeah.
That's fair. So the Stanley Cup will actually be in Edmonton.
Awesome.
Nice.
And there's fans.
Awesome.
Awesome.
What other sports are going on?
Pretty sure there's UFC going on.
There is UFC going on. I'm excited for Fight Island this Saturday. Big event, 3 championship bouts. And I'm excited for Masvidal versus Usman. A lot more than Gilbert Burns versus Usman, because I thought that Gilbert Burns was just going to get his ass kicked. Yeah. And even though Masvidal has to drop 20 pounds in 6 days, it's not that much for fighters if you think about it.
Right.
George St. Pierre used to drop like 30 pounds a week. So it can be done. And with Masvidal being as great as he is, the BFM, it's going to be a great contest. Win or lose, I think he deserves the new contract that he's getting. Especially for stepping up last minute. I know Colby Covington also was kind of saying, yeah, I'll step up, but then he didn't do anything about it. And Jorge Masvidal, especially after he was kind of having a falling out with the UFC over his contract, to step up and fight right away, I commend him on it. I will be watching this Saturday.
Is it a pay-per-view, or is there like a way to watch it somewhere?
It is a pay-per-view, but you know, people have their ways.
I was going to say, I'll have to find some illegal stream.
We do not condone the illegal streaming of any sports here at the Side Squad podcast.
We would never condone illegal streaming.
But if you do, send us the link. DM us.
Yeah, if you guys find any illegal streaming apps, send us the link so we can turn them in immediately. Send all of us the link.
Yeah. Ask that on Twitter and we'll distribute it to the proper sources.
But first, we're going to make sure that it's legitimately, the illegal link of how to view it illegally. Right, just so that way, we're not trying to get people in trouble here.
Right.
We here at the Side Squad Pod, we only care.
Yes.
Because if we didn't, we wouldn't be as much of a knockout podcast.
Ha! That was your best joke yet today, Brendan.
No, my best joke today was me waking up.
Oh, damn. I have a feeling that the jokes are going to get even better in our next segment. Our final segment of the day, we won't be doing rankums just because it's been kind of a busy week. But does Michael Vick belong in the Hall of Fame? Will he be in the Hall of Fame, or are we going to send him down to the Hall of Lame? Whoever can start. Brendan, would you like to start?
Yeah, I'd be okay with starting. Michael Vick, very interesting player, right? So he had a great career. He was one of the people who kind of made kind of our current quarterback meta, where you have to not only be able to throw the ball, you have to be able to run with it too, just so that way you can keep yourself multidimensional. And I feel like Lamar Jackson's play is, inspired by Michael Vick's because of the things that he did on the field that were so amazing. Pulling up his stats here.
So, what are you think? Do you say yes or no for Hall of Fame?
I haven't said anything yet,
Oh,
but the biggest thing that's hurting him is his dogfighting ring, cause that that don't that don't look so great. That don't make you look like a great guy, and it's really not only about being a great player. You also have to be a good guy. Well, you at least can't be a bad guy.
There's also been plenty of guys that have off the field issues that have made it to the Hall of Fame.
True.
all right. I'll go next because people aren't talking. Michael Vick will not be a Hall of Fame player. He has some high notes in his career, but throughout his career, he never really had. I mean, he wasn't an All-Pro. He does have 4 Pro Bowls to his name, but 4 Pro Bowls in 15 seasons isn't that great. His career quarterback rating isn't great. His career touchdown interception rating isn't phenomenal. And besides the fact that he doesn't have any great stats or awards behind his name, the fact he served almost 2 years in prison in the middle of his thing, and the NFL looks at that, and the Hall of Fame looks at that. That's why Terrell Owens took such a long time. Terrell Owens didn't go to jail for 2 years. He just didn't have good character. I would be surprised if Michael Vick makes it into the Hall of Fame.
I would agree with you there. I do not think that Michael Vick will be a Hall of Famer, although he is one of those players that nobody will ever forget about. He's just polarizing in a way. He's one of those guys that changed the game in a way, but I don't think he's done much in terms of stat-wise or even his career-wise to make a case for a Hall of Fame, even if you take away his prison time and dogfighting stuff. I still don't think he's on the Hall of Fame list, and if he was on the Hall of Fame list, I think he'd be very low and it'd take him a long time to get in.
Well, yeah, he really doesn't have any accolades to his name. I mean, he is still the career rushing yards by a quarterback, but we can see that. I wouldn't be surprised if he loses that to somebody like Lamar Jackson. He has 4 Pro Bowls and 1 Comeback Player of the Year, and that's it. I mean, he was a Heisman finalist, but he really doesn't have anything that would even take away the dogfighting stuff. Just his career I don't think is good enough to be in the Hall of Fame. And then you got the fact that he served 2 years in jail for a crime that, while it might not be super serious, is not something that you want to be represented by.
Not to beat a dead dog dead here, but I don't think that Michael Vick is going to be a Hall of Famer. If this was the Madden Hall of Fame, hell yeah. He's in it already, pretty much. Just because of how dominant as a player Michael Vick has been in Madden forever. But nonetheless, he has less throwing yards than some quarterbacks throw in a whole ass season, and he had 13-year career. Yes,
sir.
Here is a trivia question for you. What does the president of the Hall of Fame Museum or the Hall of Fame Committee, what does he say to players when he officially tells them you are entered the Hall of Fame?
What?
Something about Canton.
No.
Oh.
The big line they tell every single coach, player, whatever. Let me recite it. Thank you for making history in the league. Thank you for everything you have done for the game and everything you're about to do for the game. Michael Vick, stat-wise, it doesn't look great by any standards. Now, I think the numbers are a little bit fabricated because had he not been arrested, those numbers would have been significantly higher. Like, they would have been. He probably will not end up in the Hall of Fame. But if I was a player if I was in the voting committee, I would vote him in for the pure reason, because I also think that history is a big part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And Michael Vick, in his absolute best, even when he was in Philadelphia, his MVP candidate year in Philadelphia, he is one of the most electrifying, one of the most fun players we have ever laid eyes on. Okay. He has changed the game for for freaking ever. Would Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson be in the league if it wasn't for Michael Vick and the success that he brought? I don't think so. Lamar Jackson, people still question his arm. Russell Wilson, people question his size. But what do they bring? They bring the athletic ability. They bring that new modern style of football, and we can attest that to Michael Vick. And I said the same thing for Eli Manning. Can you tell the history of the NFL without said player? And Michael Vick, I could argue no. Now, in reality, he probably will not be in the Hall of Fame. But if it was 20 guys in a room, I would make sure it is not unanimous that he's not a Hall of Famer.
I would agree with that.
But like I said, he probably won't, which is unfortunate because I also think Michael Vick can thank football for his big turnaround.
That's very true.
The game has given him so much, and he returned it graciously, and he's going to continue to do it because he's getting into coaching. He's giving back to the game what the game did for him. So that's my case for it, but we'll just have to find out.
So I want to apologize really quick about something terribly inaccurate I said. I was looking at the wrong column for yards.
Yeah,
I was actually looking at his sack yards, like the amount of yards he's been sacked, not the amount of yards that he's thrown for.
Yeah, no, I figured you were looking. I wasn't gonna call you out on. I figured it was whatever, but no, yeah, he has close to 23,000 career passing yards.
Yeah, which isn't too bad.
It's not great, but
it's not
whatever. It is what it is. It is not playing for 2 years.
Very true. So, according to the Side Squad podcast, he will not end up in the Hall of Fame.
But again, I'm here to make sure it is not unanimous.
That is fair. That is totally fair. What do you think about Michael Vick in the Hall of Fame? You should tweet us, Instagram us, Facebook us, comment on our stuffs. Let us know at Side Squad Pod.
Our window.
There you go. Whatever you need to do.
Send me presents.
Yeah. On Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I think that's it for this week.
Do you know who's thrown more passing yards than Michael Vick?
Case Keenum.
A lot of people.
Andy Dalton and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. But they also, like I said, you can also attest Michael Vick's passing yards to compared to how much he ran the football. But
right.
Obviously, Fitzpatrick and Andy Dalton are not running quarterbacks.
That is very fair.
And Fitzpatrick has been in the league for a bajillion years.
To be fair, though, Michael Vick is in the top 100, behind Ryan Tannehill and a few other names. But Ryan Tannehill, I just saw was near him, and I wanted to mention.
Interesting. Well, thanks for joining us today on this fantastic episode of the Side Squad podcast.
Solid stuff.
We'll see you next week. I'm Duncan.
I'm Noah.
I'm Ben.
I'm a Joe.
Stop it.
And that's Brendan. And this has been the Side Squad podcast. Thanks for listening.